The next question is submitted by Jose99, number one Superfly, who says his hot take is TNA's pay-per-view quality in 2025 has been bad. Clark, you've had a lot of thoughts on TNA wrestling. Good, bad, indifferent, but I want to get your thoughts on this hot take right here.
I hate to do this, but I agree. It just has not been a great year. There have been excellent moments throughout the year for TNA, but it's weirdly been overshadowed. And I feel like I'm sitting around here and watching TNA and I'm getting NXT, and I cover NXT every Tuesday. I'm not saying it's been bad. Bad is a stretch. It has been a step down from previous years. And I point to the moment that Scott D'Amore left. This feels completely different TNA wise than previous years, than what I was looking for, than what I expect from TNA. It feels a little diet WWE. It does. I really love the talent on the TNA roster. I enjoy the weekly product, truthfully, more than I've enjoyed the pay-per-views this year. My issues lie in the big moments feel mostly nostalgia related. If we point at the most recent one, I really enjoyed Dudley's Hardys because I felt 11 for a second. Then I realized that they were all 50. And it was like, okay, it was awesome, but there's certain moments it feels so close because there's so much great talent. I just think the expectation when it comes to TNA pay-per-views is so high because of the history of the company. And this year has been a step down. And I point to the moment that Scott D'Amore was let go, because I think Scott D'Amore booked pay-per-views and had that train rolling down the tracks as hard as anybody. And that I think is the moment that things sort of just got just a little bit one notch below what our already high expectations are.
I mean, that's fair enough. And you know how Batman has the bat signal, right? So you know how to, alert him really quickly. With Drizzy, that's a hot take about TNA, right? Because he's in the comments right now. He is not having any of this. He's a big TNA guy. But to your point, Clark, and to, what he's saying as well, you're saying the weekly product is good, but what is bad is the pay-per-views. And honestly,
yeah.
I would say disagree.
Bad might be too harsh. I would say they're just not up to the expectations that have been set by TNA in the past. It's a down
or even
year.
Just set by everybody else in wrestling, honestly.
Right? Yeah. For that reason, and it doesn't mean I'm not watching them. It doesn't mean I'm gonna right. I'm not sitting here like, well, shoot. I just felt like there was some to be desired this year in particular. And that's what's interesting, is because it's specifically 2025. If we're talking about over the last 2 years, completely different perspective there. I thought 2024 was a great year for TNA pay-per-views, right? And so you're always compared to your last big win, I feel like, almost in anything you do. And that makes things more difficult. But yes, I do feel like this has been a bit of a downturn for TNA when it comes to the pay-per-view events.
I've got a hot take, but before I give it, shout out to Melissa sending in a super sticker. Shout out, thank you so much. But I have a hot take, Clark. I have a hot take about this, and the hot take is this. I've never watched a TNA pay-per-view which I think has actually lived up to the hype.
Whoa, that's interesting. Never in your life?
Never. Admittedly, I didn't see one before 2016, so that's a big disclaimer.
Okay.
But
that's
even
fair.
still, I've never seen one where every single time I've watched it and been like, for the match quality this card had going into it, I don't think it's delivered. Sometimes it's been production, sometimes it's been matches under-delivering, sometimes it's been not the greatest commentary work, but every time I come out of it thinking, I think that could have been a lot better. And I can say that about certain WWE, certain AEW pay-per-views, but I can say it, to be honest, about all TNA ones I've seen.
I think that's actually fair. okay, vintage TNA I loved. So like, and I'm talking way back, like when you were like little, right? Like,
Yeah.
I'm talking early days.
I would have
Loved,
been like 5.
yeah, at best. And
Actually,
so
maybe younger, maybe 3.
yeah, like
Might have been
2 or
3.
3. I think TNA, the impact, the rebrand. Again, I thought Scott D'Amore had something really cooking there for a bit. And I point to that moment. Now, Maple Leaf Pro, I've enjoyed thus far, but it is a little bit different. I mean, I see Drizzy's comment in there. Of course,
Even
Leon was
Javon
good.
versus Leon Slater.
There's always highlights on these shows. I just don't believe that the show top to bottom has delivered. 2025, I'm not going to go as far as Ben. I don't necessarily
I'll
think
double down on
I've
it.
never seen. No, and that's fine. No. My point is like I don't want to argue with you on that because I could see where you're coming from, but I also just personally I think there has been some good sprinkled. I can't point to a single event necessarily off the top of my head that I could be like, yeah, wait, that one. But there have been ones that I've walked away from like that was a clean, that was a high quality show, right? Felt entertained top to bottom. 2025 though, in particular, I just have felt like it's hit or miss, match to match, and that's like I would call the show
exactly.
I would call the show spotty, and I think
that's exactly the case.
Where I'm coming from, right? Spotty,
yeah,
hit or miss, match to match. It's not like I've never seen a card that was all bad, but I've never seen one where you can't point to like that was a bit weak, and then that was good, and then that was a bit weak, and then that was good. So it's a lot of up and down, and yeah, it feels more stuck than bad. Let me put it that way.
They love to chuck matches on the pay-per-view, which aren't really pay-per-view matches. That's one of the things they love to do. And also, to Drizzy's point here, even Javon versus Leon, that match was fantastic, and then they TNA'd it at the end.
The finish got us.
With Dark
the
State.
finish I didn't love. I couldn't stand the finish.
That's exactly what I'm talking about with it. But Emergence apparently is one. I can't remember that card off the top of my head, so I can't dispute it.